That is so good. Welcome back, you guys. Happy Sunday. It is Labor Day weekend. It's actually the day before Labor Day. Sunday, I don't know, what is it? The third. The third, yes. I'm correct, the third. So today we got chapter 11, Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. Hopefully I can get through this chapter a heck of a lot better than I did last time. There's a kitty outside my door. That's not my cat. Your friend is down there, Lily. Lily's perched on her chair, you guys. Just looking at me like I'm a complete dummy. If you're unaware who Lily is my cat. She does have her own queen throne in my apartment. She'll soon see her black cat friend walking. She's actually peeking around the corner right now. I wish I could show you this. Anyway, chapter 11. This one is called Look at This Giraffe. Oh boy. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Chapter 11. Last week, a stranger showed up at my parents' house with an antique 6-foot dead giraffe head in the back of his truck, and he wanted to get rid of. This sounds slightly less weird when I explain that my dad is a professional taxidermist who has a reputation for trading dead animals for strange things. Or maybe it sounds weirder. Honestly, I'm not good at judging what our lives look like to normal people. Excuse me. The stuffed giraffe was the head and neck, ending at the shoulder blades and mounted to stand on the floor like a strange questionable hat rack with eyeballs. My father decided to pass because it was weird looking, but then he remembered that I liked terrible old taxidermy, and this giraffe seemed exactly like the kind of fucked up thing I'd love. And so he called and said, "There's a guy here with a third of a dead giraffe in the back of his truck, and it looks pretty messed up. So I thought of you." I considered responding with, "Who is this?" But it was perfectly obvious who it was, and I wasn't sure if I should be insulted or perhaps flattered that my dad knew me so well, which I think is a good thing. "Which third?" I asked. He explained, and I asked him to buy it for me, but only if it died of natural causes and was cheap, and only if it was truly weird looking. But funny and whimsical. Weird, I explained, not sad and awkwardly depressing weird. "I'm sure I can tell the difference," my dad replied. The love of taxidermy had not skipped a generation, but the evaluation of it certainly had. Victor, if you guys don't remember, Victor is Jenny's husband. Victor overheard part of the conversation and told me I could not have a giraffe, because we had no place to put it. And I pointed out that it was only a third of a giraffe and that it was the most interesting third. So it was almost impossible to say no. Victor then proved me wrong by saying no several times. He argued that he had no way to get the giraffe to our house, but I explained that I could pick it up from my parents' home and put it in the passenger seat of the car. And then I could roll down the window and Montessori giraffe's head could stick out, and then I'd be able to use the HOV lane. Victor disagreed because all of a sudden he knows everything about HOV regulations. But it didn't really matter because my dad had called back and said he couldn't get a good deal on the giraffe, so he had passed. Victor was so relieved, but I reminded him that my father is a terrific liar, so there was still a small possibility that he'd bought the giraffe stock himself. And there's a little scripture here, you guys, I'm going to read for you. 1. Truthfully, we don't really have the room for a giraffe head, but we do have an old decorative English street light in our yard that needs replacing, and I thought maybe I could put the giraffe head there and have him hold the handle of the hanging lantern in his mouth. I can picture him now staring silently as if telling potential burglars, "Just keep on driving, you bastards. I've got this place well covered." Victor says it would more likely be saying, "Welcome, solicitors. We'll buy fucking anything." He also pointed out that taxidermied animals rot in the rain, So I made a note to ask my dad if he could drill a hole in the mouth of the giraffe, could hold the umbrella over himself, of course. Then that would keep him from holding the lantern in his mouth because that would look ridiculously busy. But perhaps we could make his eyes light up like beams instead. Maybe something motion activated because nothing says welcome like a surprise umbrella wielding giraffe head staring at you with laser beam eyes. That was kind of like a side note. Anyway, moving on. So the last line of the last paragraph was Victor was relieved, but I reminded him that my father is a terrific liar, so there still was a small possibility that he'd bought the giraffe stock himself and, continuing, was fixing it up for some sort of weird Christmas present. That's the thing about my father. You never know when he's hiding a giant giraffe head from you. I can't really tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm leaning towards good. Victor seemed concerned that a surprise giraffe might show up at any moment, but he didn't really need to worry because my dad really did pass on the head. But obviously enough, he ended up picking up the head up from a local auction when the woman who won it hired him to fix the damage. He was shocked. She'd paid double the asking price, but when he was driving the giraffe back to his taxidermy shop, another woman showed the giraffe's flowing mane and followed my dad home, offering to pay double that price. The lady who bought it at the auction refused, but she'd fallen in love with him, and my dad shook his head in bafflement. He called me that night and said in a hushed tone, "My God, there's more of you." Oh, man. But the other story, that's another story. Let's get back to the story of the gift taxidermy. I'm quite good at giving gifts. Several years ago for our anniversary, I gave Victor a giant metal chicken's named Beyonce. Then last year, I surprised him with a live sloth, a loose wallaby, and a hedgehog in our living room. Gonna get a nip of coffee, my friends. You guys should probably do the same. So I made my coffee this morning before we continue on. A little bit different than I didn't use my coffee maker this morning. Besides it, I think I need a new one. It's kind of going to crap. 12 cups my coffee maker is 12 cups, but it only makes 10, and I've cleaned it and everything. The Keurig perk works great, but it still doesn't taste like this. So what I do is I boil water in my little tea kettle from my camping cooking set. I put the coffee grounds in a filter around in a cup, basically, and I slowly pour the hot water over top of the coffee grounds, and they essentially do the same thing a coffee pot does, but for some reason, this coffee tastes better. I don't know if it's because I'm using bottled water that's cleaner and better than tap water. I don't know if the water is hotter. I don't know if it's because it's actually going over the loose grounds instead of, the K-cup surrounding and whatnot. I don't know, but it just tastes better. So there's an idea for you. That's the way I make coffee when I go camping. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on here. This year, Victor decided to surprise me instead. And he did, first, because it was like a month away from our 18th anniversary. And second, because when I opened up the big box Victor had left on the kitchen floor, a giant bear attacked me. Most likely, my sleeve got hooked on the wooden frame that was securing the bear in the box, and I got off balance. And when I fell backward, it rolled over on me, and I was suddenly pinned by an unexpected bear in the middle of the kitchen. This gift is especially sweet because, one, Victor does not like taxidermy, and the fact that he bought a bear head makes him the greatest husband ever. Two, he assured me that this bear died of natural causes. And three, I now have a quarter of a bear to hide around the house. Turning the page, there is a picture here. I will post that right up on the screen right now if you're watching and not listening, please don't look if you're driving. But yeah, check it out. Sometimes I'd hide him outside Victor's office so it looks like he's being eavesdropped on by a bear. Sometimes I stick his head quietly through the shrubbery outside of the house so that people driving by will think they seen a bear, because I'd like to add intrigue to other people's lives. Victor says it's because I have too much free time on my hands. I think it's because I'm a giver. It could be both. No one knows where the other 3/4 of that bear are, but I'm okay with having just the face. Although I did mention that I would have liked for the bear to have arms, because that way it could hug you when you're having a bad day. This is good. Does anybody else sometimes just need a hug? Just need something. My mom gave something to me that I'm going to talk to you guys about after the book here. But let's continue on. Victor argued that bears give terrible hugs because they're made of claws and teeth, but he's wrong, because everyone knows that bears give the best hugs. That's why you call it a good bear hug. I didn't mention that to Victor, though, because it's probably not cool to look at a gift bear in the mouth. Instead, I started looking online for someone who was selling taxidermy bear hands from a bear that died of old age, because I thought I could just nail them under the bear like he was coming through the wall. Or maybe I could glue him and the paws to a mirror like... Sorry, there's a wrinkle in the page here. I could glue him and the paws to a mirror like there was a bear magically coming out of the mirror, and then Victor was all, "What the shit? You can't glue a bear to a mirror? That's fucking crazy. And also, why is there a bear in my bed?" And I was like, "Because that one's just right." And Victor looked at me in incredul... Oh my gosh, I can't even read that. Incredulously? Oh man, I'm not terrible usually at pronouncing stuff. But anyway, because apparently his mother never read him Goldilocks, he glared at me, so I just sighed and said, "Because I was all out of horse, and I know how much you like The Godfather." Then he got mad, and I was going to spend money on bear arms, and I was like, "I have the right to bear arms, Victor." That's a good dad joke. And then I realized, let me see here. And then I realized what I had said, and we both started giggling for a bit. And that's the moment when I realized how incredibly lucky I am to have spent 18 years with a man who can laugh at a bad gun-controlled jokes while a severed bear head is lying on the pillow. His name is Claude. I said, "Get it? Claude." She spelled it Clawed. Yeah, you guys can get it. I could tell he got it because I could see him rolling his eyes. Although he might have been rolling his eyes because Claude has no claws and he thought I was being ironic. I'm not actually sure if it's ironic or not. The Alanis Morissette song sort of fucked up my irony for everyone. I apologize about the F-bombs in this book, folks. Excuse me. I don't usually like to say those on my channel here, but this is the book. Excuse me again. That's why my channel is not rated for children, specifically, my gosh, because of this book. "You really do love me, don't you?" I asked. "You bought me a taxidermy, and you are literally bearing your heart." Victor scratched his head. "I don't think that's how literally works. And that's not really the right use of the word bear either. And, well, maybe not. But I think that's how love works. Sometimes it means doing the washing up when it's not your mess. And sometimes it's driving to the airport 3 times in 1 week to pick up a loved one. And sometimes it's all unexpected bears and possible surprise giraffes. Probably not so much the last ones for most people. But then again, we're not most people, and thank God for that. P.S. This is Claude. Please give him a hand. 2 preferably. There's a picture of the bear here that I'm going to post for you guys again. So that was the end of chapter 11. Chapter 12, the next one is called The Fear. And I think this one gets a little bit more real by reading the note in the beginning. But that's where I'm going to leave you guys with the book today. But as I referred to a few minutes ago, was something my mom bought me that really pulled on my heartstrings a little bit. So, sorry if I get emotional in this, but let me grab my keys here. A couple weeks ago, I did a hike in memorial of my friend Jeannie, who passed away. Just gone really too soon. I'm 39. Jeannie was a year or two younger than me. Just way too soon to go. And I was having a rough day, and driving home that day, I didn't know what I needed to hear. And my mom commented on a Facebook post. She said, "I love you, kiddo." And that's something I needed to hear that I didn't know I needed to hear. And my mom messages me randomly almost every day, if not every other day, to tell me she loves me, have a good day or night at work, or whatever shift I'm working at, whatever job I'm at. Tells me to have a good day, a good night. But anyway, the keychain says, "To my son, whatever your journey in life may take you, I pray." My mom is religious, by the way. Kind of religious. Not full on, but she is. "I pray you'll always be safe, enjoy the ride, and never forget your way back home. I'm always here for you. Love, Mom." Again, that pulls on the heartstrings a little bit. February will be 2 years. I've been a single guy. I come home to an empty home. Well, besides Lily Mae, my cat. But obviously animals can't talk. And sometimes I just want to have somebody to talk to. As you guys know, my channel is based around my mental health and obviously the outdoors. But I don't hear those words a lot. I don't hear things that a man sometimes needs to hear. Like, good job, I'm proud of you, I love you. I'm thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for my parents. My dad I go to for everything in life. I feel the love from him, but I feel it a lot more. And this is not discouraging or whatever from my dad. My dad is more the physical show type of love. Like, I love you, I'm going to do this for you. You know, my vehicle broke down, I'll be right there. My mom is more of I'm going to tell you, I love you and whatnot. And granted, my mom does do physical things for me. She actually baked me some chocolate chip cookies that I wanted. And I'm very thankful for that. But I don't hear "I love you" a lot. And like I said, I've been single for a little over a year and a half now. And I've met a couple incredible ladies that turned out to be very flaky. I don't even know the complete definition of that, but that's the word that sprung to mind at the moment. But they obviously were not meant for me, so I moved on. Thankfully, there was no feelings there. You guys know about Miss Mindy. Miss Mindy and I are going through a little bit of a rough patch right now. I don't know what's going to happen with that relationship. I would like to say something great is going to happen, but I don't know. I think her and I need to talk face to face. We need to be real. I need to be real, I should say. She's always been pretty real with myself. especially about her feelings. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, you guys. And I'm not saying that comments are going to sway my decision, but like maybe you'll say something to really open my eyes. Maybe you'll make me look a little further outside of the box, if you will. But I have not talked to Miss Mindy in a couple days, and I'm really realizing like she was a huge part of my life the past couple years. Well, I shouldn't say couple years, past year. Our friendiversary, however you say it, is coming up next weekend, the 9th, I believe. Yeah, it's the 9th. We had planned on spending the whole day together and hanging out. And as I've told you guys, I run my own DJ business and entertainment business, I should say. I'm a DJ, kind of like you see at a wedding or in a bar venue or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where things are going to lead. Like I said, I need to sit and talk with this beautiful young lady and get things out in the open and just be 100% real. And we'll get things settled. But anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this book so far. I know we got a few listeners in here. I kind of throw this in with my podcast, although it's not a podcast. Again, this is a channel that's my mental health. If I can help you somewhere along the way, please ask a question. I am no professional. I just want to go on record saying that I'm no professional, but I'm very real with people. And I think a lot more people need to be spoken real words to let them know that life's not a fairy tale and it's not based on your feelings. It's based around how you handle life. Hard work pays off. You want something to change, you have to do it. Nobody's going to give you a handout. But anyway, y'all, please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you guys on the next chapter. I got a new adventure coming up today that I will be filming. Again, this is Sunday the 3rd or 4th. I don't know. Anyway, please be good, you guys. We'll see you next time.